Hello, everything pumpkin. I hope you are enjoying your day. It is time to make the easiest pumpkin spice fudge that you can imagine. So I am going to walk you through the ingredients, and you can literally make this in 10 minutes, put it in the fridge or freezer for quite a little while, maybe up to 3-4 hours, and then enjoy it as soon as it's ready. But this is so simple because there are really only 5 ingredients, so here we go. All right, first up I'm going to put in the pumpkin puree, and this is just 1/2 cup of pumpkin puree. So when you're shopping for pumpkin puree, make sure it is puree and it's not pumpkin pie filling. This is just pure pumpkin pureed and cooked. All right, so there we go. We've got our pumpkin puree in. No, these are not. So pumpkin puree is in. Next up I'm going to put my coconut oil, and this is about 1/4 cup of coconut oil, and that's going straight in. Okay, next up I am going to put in my nut butter. So this is mostly almond butter, but I was a little bit short, so I added a tiny bit of peanut butter in there as well. So peanut butter / almond butter. Recipe calls for almond butter, but it really doesn't matter. It's personal preference, and you could use either. So that is going in. All right. Next up we have our maple syrup. So I'm going to get about 2 tablespoons maple syrup, and this is our big jug of maple syrup. We use it quite frequently for cooking and for other stuff, so we get it by the jug. Okay, so there we go. Pure maple syrup, that's 1, and we're gonna put in 2. There we go, second one's up. Okay, and last but not least, we are going to add in our pumpkin pie spice. This is just Trader Joe's pumpkin pie spice. Delicious. If you don't have this in your pantry, you can make your own pumpkin pie spice. And we are putting in 1 teaspoon, and that's it. Okay, so we've got everything we need now. We're going to mix it up, and it's going to be somewhat liquidy, but I'm going to mix it pretty well so that all of the ingredients are mixed well together. The peanut butter is going to be the one, the almond butter is going to be the one that kind of holds it together. So we're just going to mix, 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 and it's going to be quite orange looking, a pretty fall color here. All right, and just making sure it's all pretty well mixed and we don't have any chunks. I see a chunk of peanut butter and almond butter. The one thing you can do is you can microwave, if you want, the almond butter for just a few seconds so that it's not so clumpy. And you can also do the same with the coconut oil. I find that coconut oil in the summertime is very easy to use, but in the winter when it's colder, it gets a little bit harder. So you can always do that. Okay, so we're mixing it, mixing it, mixing it. And you can also add in some chocolate chips. If you want extra dark chocolate chips, would you mind grabbing some chocolate chips for me? Thank you. So if you want to add in chocolate, you can either do that or you can melt some chocolate at the end and drizzle it on top. Really fun to do it that way too. Okay, so mixing is pretty well done. Thank you very much. Now I have here a pan that has been sprayed with coconut oil. So that has been sprayed. You can also do parchment paper if you prefer. And that's gonna go straight into the freezer. Okay, so here we go. Can you see I'm just pouring it in, and it doesn't have to get the whole entire pan. If you want it thicker, you can just leave it as is. It doesn't have to be perfect and perfectly lining all the different sides. So there we go, that's in. And oh, I gotta scrape more out of here. There's a little bit more on the edges. We're gonna get it all scraped out and poured in. And then I'm going to let this sit in the freezer for, like I said, about 3 to 4 hours. And then you can keep it in the fridge after that if you want, if it doesn't get too soft. You can also freeze it and you can add it to school lunches. If it's frozen, it acts as a nice little refrigerator in the lunch, and then it should be thawed out by the time kids are enjoying lunch. Okay, so there we go. This is just right in here. You can also put it in, any size pan that you want that will fit. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And I'm going to add in some chocolate chips, extra dark. And like I said, you can melt chocolate chip or chocolate and drizzle it on top if you want. That's fine too. So I'm just gonna put them in like that. And then I'm going to mix them in a little bit better. And that's it. So like I said, this is going in the fridge or the freezer for about 3 to 4 hours, and it will be ready to enjoy later on tonight. And that's it. There we go. So pumpkin pie fudge in the books. All right, you guys, have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you all soon. Bye.